Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears, live an awesome life, and I will supply the tools for you to manifest anything, but you must use them. And I hope through my channel that I will supply all of that for you to change the thinking in the way that you choose and to go into that different space where your reality is no longer one of struggle. It's abundance and love and compassion here on earth, where we will still experience, I want to get this clear, we will still experience some, just say, emotions, human feelings and experiences. I want to talk about that today. I want to talk about Abraham Hicks. I have seen Abraham Hicks years ago. I do not watch Abraham Hicks. I don't watch other spiritual teachers. I have no reason to. I want my message to be pure the way I get it. I want to talk about channels and the fact that Abraham Hicks, her husband died. See, I don't even know their names. All right, it'll come to me in a minute. Her husband died, and I know that there was a lot of criticism about that, and a lot of people who then said, well, if you have all these answers and you can manifest anything, why did he die? Because he didn't want to. He was fighting it. He was battling it. All right, I want to talk about that. First of all, I want to talk about teachings and channelers. Just because somebody channels something doesn't mean they're awakened or enlightened. They are a physical conduit for something else to come through. Another entity is speaking through them. All right? And sometimes they sort of become one at some point, because we're all one energy anyways. Just because they are a conduit doesn't mean they're awakened. They, the human body, could go off and be the biggest jackass walking the planet. Not likely if they're a channel. But I know some people, and I know some of the things that they do, and it's not very awakened, right? Not for me to judge. All I can say is, we, as human beings, believe that awakened people are supposed to act a certain way if they're giving certain teachings. That's not always true. So, Abraham Hicks, oh, it was Jerry and Esther Hicks. Jerry died. Jerry, and if you know, Esther Hicks is a channel, and she's a very popular one. She does amazing things. She's really spreading a lot of positivity and helping people. That's always a good thing. Now, if we were to go into her personal life and judge it, people say, oh, she has millions, and who cares? Isn't that what you would love? She's also a very giving person, and she has not stopped. What her intentions are none of our business. It's none of our business. If that woman is helping other people to raise their frequency and change their lives, and she's doing her job, she has her own human path to go on, and we don't know what that is. And for us to judge means that we're not in an awakened state, right? All right, Christ used to get angry and questioned God, thought he was forsaken. All right, he questioned, he lost his faith there for a while. We're still in human bodies. So the other thing is, why did Jerry die then? If he didn't want to, why didn't he use these manifesting skills? Jerry may not have wanted to die because he was probably really enjoying his life, and he loved Esther. I'm sure they seemed to be a very nice couple from what I know. He supported her, and I know they've traveled together. You probably have to get along to do that. He was older than her. And all I can say is, there are things that we don't know, and we try to, with our little human pea brains, put logic to things that there is no logic to. Jerry could very well have been the reason why Esther was able to do what she's doing, and it was his time to move on. And that by moving on allowed her to expand into other areas which she might not have if he was here. He may have made that agreement, most likely made that agreement before he came here. And when it came time, wasn't all happy about it, and as a human, it's not always easy to follow through with the prearranged agreements. You've heard about near-death experiences where people go over and they're saying, you have to go back. They're not getting a choice. And you're thinking, well, wait a second, we always have a choice, we always have free will. Because the agreement they had in advance was to fulfill something, and the agreement was that they are not allowed to come back, and you agreed to this. You're not allowed to go back over without fulfilling on some level this thing that you agreed to. That's why you're being sent back. It's not because somebody has control over you. It's because you were a part of that decision. And because you don't have that knowledge, if you were to stay over on the other side and, disintegrate, get rid of your body, you'd say, oh, shoot, that's right, I was supposed to go back, and because of me, I would have saved somebody else from falling off a building or whatever, or I would have been the friend that was badly needed, or whatever it is. You don't know at that point in the near death. You don't always have all knowledge at that point. So you may not remember what your agreements are because you're still in that space where you haven't quite passed over. I'm sure Jerry probably doesn't know that he made a pact with her. Chance is pretty good. He still communicates. She hasn't lost him. Nobody ever loses anybody. But I'm sure Esther has a different life now that she was supposed to live out. And that's all it is. So we start to judge like we're supposed to have control over everything. We do. But we cannot disregard our pre-agreed upon, contracts that are much more important than him staying here. And when he went over, probably realized, oh, okay, it was the best thing. It was for me to leave, even though I really didn't want to as a human. That's an ego kicking in, saying, I don't want to, I'm having a good time, right? So I wanted to make that clear. The other thing is, there's a lot of spiritual teachers out there that aren't really nice people, in their own personal lives. They're not always acting all awakened. Are you getting something from their message? Then we are not here to judge their personal lives. We really aren't. It doesn't make their message false. They, again, in some ways, are getting information that is peaceful, and if it's right for you, it serves a positive purpose. So if we go into that, Eckhart Tolle had a glass of wine. People were posting because he has coffee at Starbucks. What, awakened people can't have coffee? I drink coffee. So what I want to share with you is that when you see these things going on, you're saying, these spiritual teachers or whatever, what's a channel? It doesn't mean they're awakened. Now you can tell when they are or they aren't. You can tell by how they act, or, but that again is our judgment of what that should be. Right? You don't know what's going on inside me. My blood pressure doesn't even go up. With the biggest jerk in the room could scream at me and do anything. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to respond like a human being. But I know what's going on in here. Talk to the hand. It really has no effect. I realize that person's coming from a very frustrating place. So can we stop judging each other? If what you're getting is very positive and it suits you and that energy feels good, accept it. We're all human beings on our own journeys. And that Esther Hicks, that person who's channeling, I don't know what she channels, is doing some amazing things for millions of people. I know that she's been around a really long time. People say, I should have as many people as Esther Hicks. Esther Hicks has been around for decades. I've been on this channel a few years, so I hope to reach as many people as she did. And I'm a different kind of teacher, and I know some people will resonate with my message. It doesn't make me better than anybody, right? Or less awakened or more awakened. I'm here to help you. I can tell you one thing. I have been in a massively high awakened state. I've come down somewhat from that because nobody can function on that level. It's insane. You don't even want to speak. You can't look at anything that's negative or whatever. You can. It doesn't affect you the same way, but you have no desire to really interact with the world anymore. I was meant to interact with the world. So I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. All right? And I deal with the same stuff everybody does. And I just handle it differently because, as I've taught you in my course, Breakthrough Fear, if you want to go down, you can take a look at it. Big discount if you use it now. If it says Inspiration with Landria down there, the discount's still going. You can use that code. You can learn how to to break through the fear too. Not end it. Just you learn how to function in this world on a higher level, which means you can manifest with a thought. That's it. So you have a pathway. You have these things that you have to move forward with and experience and break through. Just like Jerry. Is it positive? Am I receiving something beautiful? Thank you. Thank you, Esther Hicks. Thank you, Jerry, for supporting Esther. Because of him, she was able to go on the road, because somebody else might have said, you're crazy. Had her in a shrink and made her think she was. All right, so God bless Esther Hicks and Jerry. You did a great job. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, happy. All these things exist for you. It's from the Master Key System. I always send light and love across the planet. Healing, abundance, compassion, peace, awakening. If you choose it, everything's a choice. Namaste.